When you think of the Wild West, you probably picture cowboys with six-shooters and rifles ready for a showdown at high noon. But the weapons of the Wild West were much more diverse and inventive than what you see in movies. Beyond the famous Colt revolvers and Winchester rifles, there were many lesser-known weapons that played important roles in the rugged life of the American frontier. These included strange multi-barrel guns and unique weapons that showed just how creative people had to be to survive in such a tough environment. In this video, we will expose the fascinating and often overlooked weapons that helped shape the legend of the Wild West. Volcanic Repeater, the Volcanic Repeating Arms Pistol, created by Horace Smith and Daniel B. Wesson in 1855, was an innovative firearm that helped shape the future of repeating rifles. Unlike traditional pistols that could only shoot once before reloading, the Volcanic Pistol featured a lever action system and a tube under the barrel where bullets were stored. This allowed shooters to fire multiple rounds quickly, a big improvement at the time. The firearm earned its distinctive name due to the unique and explosive nature of its ammunition. It utilized a specialized .41 caliber bullet with a hollow base that contained both powder and a primer. This design created a visual effect resembling miniature volcanoes inside each bullet, thus leading to the name Volcanic. Despite its advancements, the Volcanic Pistol had some issues. Its cartridges sometimes didn't pack enough punch, and the gun could occasionally jam. These problems meant it wasn't perfect, but it was still a big step forward in firearm technology. Although the Volcanic Pistol didn't become widely popular on its own, its design ideas were crucial. When the company struggled financially, it transformed into the New Haven Arms Company, which later became known as Winchester Repeating Arms. They built upon the Volcanic's ideas to create the Henry rifle and Winchester rifles, which became famous for their reliability and effectiveness. While the Volcanic Pistol itself didn't become a household name, its impact on firearms history was significant. It represented a leap forward in gun technology and set the stage for the development of some of America's most iconic rifles. Duck's Foot Pistol. The Duck's Foot Pistol is a truly unique and legendary firearm that earned its name from its distinctive design. Imagine a compact pistol with 2 to 6 barrels radiating from a central axis, like the splayed toes of a duck. Each barrel varied in length and could accommodate different sizes of ammunition, ranging from smaller calibers like 0.22 or 0.32 to larger ones like 0.36 or 0.44. One of the standout features of the Duck's Foot Pistol was its ergonomic hardwood handle, curved to fit comfortably in the hand and often adorned with intricate carvings or engravings. This attention to detail not only enhanced its functionality, but also made it a statement piece, reflecting the craftsmanship and personality of its owner. Some variants even featured elaborate engravings along the metal frame, further adding to its aesthetic appeal. This unique firearm found its niche in the rough and unpredictable terrain of the American frontier during the 19th century. Its compact size and ability to fire multiple shots simultaneously made it highly sought after by a diverse range of users, including gamblers, outlaws, and lawmen. The Duck's Foot Pistol was particularly favored in close-quarters combat scenarios, where its rapid-fire capability and wide spread of projectiles provided a distinct advantage. While the exact origins of the Duck's Foot Pistol are somewhat obscured by history, it is believed to have drawn inspiration from similar multi-barrel firearms originating in Europe. American gunsmiths adapted and refined the concept to suit the demands of the Wild West, resulting in a firearm that was both practical and lethal in confrontational situations. The size of the Duck's Foot Pistol varied depending on the model, but most were designed with portability in mind, typically measuring between 6 to 8 inches in length. This compact size made it easy to carry discreetly, yet it packed a powerful punch when needed, making it a reliable companion in the unpredictable environment of the frontier. Jonathan Browning's Harp Rifle. Jonathan Browning's Harp Rifle, also known as the harmonica gun, represents a significant innovation in firearms technology during the mid-19th century. Jonathan Browning, born in Tennessee in 1805, was a skilled gunsmith known for his craftsmanship and inventive spirit. He moved to Quincy, Illinois, where he established a successful gunsmithing business that catered to the needs of pioneers, frontiersmen, and settlers heading westward. The harmonica gun derived its nickname from its unique tubular magazine, which resembled the shape of a harmonica. This magazine was located under the rifle barrel and held multiple rounds of ammunition in a horizontal rotating cylinder. The shooter would manually rotate the cylinder using a lever near the trigger guard, allowing successive rounds to be chambered quickly without the need to reload after each shot. This design was a departure from traditional muzzle-loading rifles of the time, offering a significant advantage in terms of firepower and efficiency. The harmonica gun typically held up to 5 rounds of .52 caliber ammunition, making it suitable for hunting large game and for self-defense purposes on the frontier. Jonathan Browning's innovative design quickly gained popularity among frontiersmen and settlers who appreciated its reliability and ease of use in rugged, unpredictable environments. The rifle was particularly favored by those living in the western territories of the United States, where encounters with wildlife, Native American tribes, and outlaws were common occurrences. Its ability to deliver rapid and accurate fire made it a valuable tool for hunting, protecting homesteads, and engaging in skirmishes. The harmonica gun's robust construction and Jonathan Browning's meticulous craftsmanship ensured that it could withstand the harsh conditions of the frontier, earning it a reputation for durability and reliability. Beyond its immediate success, the harmonica gun had a lasting impact on the development of firearms technology. Jonathan Browning's innovative approach to designing a repeating rifle with a tubular magazine influenced future generations of gunsmiths and inventors, including his own son, John Moses Browning. John Moses Browning inherited his father's talent and passion for firearms, eventually becoming one of the most prolific inventors in firearms history. His contributions include iconic firearms such as the Browning automatic rifle, BR, and the M1911 pistol. The harmonica gun served as an early example of the Browning family's commitment to innovation and excellence in firearm design, laying the foundation for their enduring legacy in the industry. Lamat Revolver. Designed by Jean-Alexandre Lamat, a French-born inventor and physician, the Lamat Revolver was patented in 1856. Its distinguishing feature was a secondary barrel located beneath the primary barrel of the revolver. This secondary barrel was chambered to fire a shotgun blast, usually using buckshot or a large lead ball. This feature gave the Lamat Revolver unparalleled versatility in combat situations, allowing its wielder to switch between handgun and shotgun capabilities at will. The revolver itself was a large, hefty firearm, weighing around 3 pounds and measuring over a foot in length. It typically carried 9 rounds of .42 or .36 caliber ammunition in its revolving cylinder, making it quite powerful for its time. The main barrel fired conventional revolver rounds, while the secondary barrel provided a devastating close-range option. During the American Civil War, the Lamat Revolver gained prominence, particularly among Confederate officers. General P.G.T. Beauregard is said to have carried one, and it was favored by other notable figures such as Major General J.E.B. Stuart and Captain John W. Tobin of the 18th Louisiana Infantry. Its ability to deliver a shotgun blast alongside traditional revolver fire made it highly effective in close combat situations, such as cavalry charges or skirmishes. The Lamat's reputation was bolstered by its reliability and stopping power. Confederate cavalry units appreciated its ability to engage multiple opponents at varying distances, giving them a tactical advantage over Union forces equipped with less versatile firearms. Its presence on the battlefield earned it a fearsome reputation among Union soldiers who faced its firepower. After the Civil War, many surplus Lamat revolvers found their way westward, accompanying pioneers, lawmen, and outlaws alike. On the frontier, where danger lurked around every corner, the Lamat's dual functionality continued to be valued. It was particularly useful for personal defense against threats ranging from hostile Native American tribes to bandits seeking to exploit the chaos of the frontier. Despite its perks, the Lamat suffered some challenges. Weighing approximately 3 pounds and measuring over a foot in length, the Lamat revolver was considerably larger and heavier than many contemporary revolvers. While its size contributed to its firepower and ruggedness, it also made it less practical for everyday carry or for individuals with smaller frames. This size and weight could also be cumbersome in mounted combat or other dynamic situations. Pepperbox Revolver. Unlike traditional revolvers with a single barrel and cylinder, the Pepperbox boasted multiple barrels clustered around a central axis, resembling the Pepperbox spice dispenser from which it took its name. The Pepperbox Revolver typically featured 4 to 6 barrels, arranged in a circular or hexagonal pattern around a central axis. Each barrel could be individually loaded and fired, either sequentially or simultaneously, depending on the model and the shooter's preference. This design allowed for rapid firing without the need to manually reload after each shot, providing a tactical advantage in close-quarters combat. One of the notable features of the Pepperbox was its compact size, which made it easily concealable. This characteristic appealed to gamblers, lawmen, and civilians alike who sought personal protection in the bustling and often dangerous towns of the frontier. The small size also made it a popular choice for ladies who needed a discreet yet effective means of defense. The Pepperbox Revolver enjoyed popularity during the mid-19th century, particularly in the United States and Europe. It emerged during a period of rapid innovation in firearms technology, where inventors sought to improve the reliability, firepower, and ease of use of handguns. In the context of the Wild West, the Pepperbox found favor among those who needed a reliable and quick-drawing firearm. Law enforcement officers often carried Pepperbox revolvers as backup weapons, appreciating their ability to deliver multiple shots in rapid succession. Similarly, gamblers and adventurers valued them for their compactness and reliability in unexpected confrontations. Despite its popularity during the mid-19th century, the Pepperbox Revolver eventually declined in use by the late 1800s. Advances in revolver design, such as the introduction of reliable single-action and double-action revolvers, offered improved reliability and ease of maintenance. These newer designs gradually displaced the Pepperbox, relegating it to a relic of an earlier era. However, the Pepperbox's influence on firearms development cannot be overstated. Its multi-barrel design and rapid-fire capability foreshadowed later developments in revolver and semi-automatic handgun design. Greener Light Harpoon Gun. The Greener Light Harpoon Gun, a lesser-known but fascinating weapon of the Wild West, represents a unique intersection of maritime innovation and frontier necessity. Unlike the firearms typically associated with the American frontier, the Greener Light Harpoon Gun was specifically designed for hunting aquatic game, particularly whales and other large sea creatures. Its invention and use reflect the diverse challenges faced by those living and working along the coasts and rivers during this period. This gun was developed by the British firearms manufacturer W. Greener, a company renowned for its high-quality shotguns and rifles. William Wellington Greener, who took over the company in the mid-19th century, was an inventive mind who continually sought to improve firearm technology. The Harpoon gun was one of his many innovations, designed to offer greater accuracy and efficiency in whale hunting compared to traditional hand-thrown harpoons. The gun featured a large-bore barrel capable of firing a heavy harpoon with a powerful charge. This design allowed hunters to strike their targets from a greater distance with more precision, increasing both the safety and effectiveness of whaling expeditions. The harpoon was typically attached to a rope, enabling hunters to secure and retrieve their catch after the initial strike. The Greener Light Harpoon Gun was a breech-loading firearm, meaning it was loaded from the rear rather than the muzzle. This design facilitated faster reloading, an important feature when dealing with the swift and often dangerous movements of large marine animals. The gun used a black powder charge to propel the Harpoon, generating enough force to penetrate the thick hide of whales and other sizable sea creatures. The Harpoon itself was crafted from sturdy metal, usually iron or steel, and was designed to embed securely into the target. Once the Harpoon struck the animal, the attached rope would allow hunters to track and eventually haul in their catch. Evans Repeating Rifle. The Evans Repeating Rifle stands out in the history of firearms for its innovative design and impressive ammunition capacity. Developed during a time when rapid-fire capabilities were highly sought after on the frontier, this rifle offered a significant leap forward in firepower. However, it was not without certain limitations. The Evans Repeating Rifle was the brainchild of Warren R. Evans, a dentist and inventor from Thomaston, Maine. Patented in 1868, the rifle was produced by the Evans Repeating Rifle Company, which operated from 1873 to 1879. The company was headquartered in Mechanic Falls, Maine, where the rifles were manufactured. What set the Evans Repeating Rifle apart from its contemporaries was its unique helical magazine. Unlike the tubular magazines found in most lever-action rifles of the time, the Evans rifle used a revolving magazine housed in the buttstock. This helical magazine allowed for an impressive ammunition capacity of up to 34 rounds in the earliest models, and later versions held up to 28 rounds. The helical magazine was a spiral-shaped mechanism that fed cartridges into the chamber through a complex system of gears and springs. As the lever was operated, it would rotate the magazine, advancing a fresh cartridge into position. This system was both a strength and a weakness. It provided unparalleled firepower, but was prone to jamming and required meticulous maintenance. The lever action mechanism was similar to other repeating rifles of the period, but adapted to work with the helical magazine. Cycling the lever would extract a spent cartridge, rotate the magazine, and load a new cartridge into the chamber. The rifle fired proprietary 44 Evans short and 44 Evans long cartridges, which were shorter and less powerful than standard rounds, but allowed for the high capacity. The Evans Repeating Rifle saw limited but notable use on the American frontier. Its high capacity made it a formidable weapon in the hands of those who needed sustained firepower, such as lawmen, outlaws, and settlers defending against raids. Gatling Gun. The Gatling gun, a precursor to modern automatic weapons, is undoubtedly a proof of industrial ingenuity and military evolution in the mid-19th century. Dr. Richard J. Gatling, originally a medical doctor and inventor, developed the Gatling gun with the intention of reducing the number of soldiers needed on the battlefield, thereby minimizing war casualties. His idea was rooted in the belief that his invention could end wars more quickly and with fewer lives lost. The design of the Gatling gun was groundbreaking. It featured multiple rotating barrels, each capable of firing in rapid succession as the entire assembly was manually cranked. The Gatling gun's design was both simple and ingenious. It consisted of 6 to 10 barrels arranged in a circular fashion around a central shaft. As the operator turned a hand crank, the barrels rotated. This rotation facilitated the loading, firing, and ejection of cartridges in a continuous cycle. Each barrel fired a single round when it reached a specific position, ensuring a rapid rate of fire without overheating, a common problem with single-barrel designs of the era. The early models used brass cartridges, which were more reliable and less prone to jamming compared to paper cartridges. The ability to sustain a high rate of fire, up to 200 rounds per minute in its initial configuration, was unparalleled at the time. Later versions of the Gatling gun, equipped with improved mechanisms and larger magazines, could achieve rates of fire exceeding 600 rounds per minute. The Gatling gun saw limited use during the American Civil War, primarily due to skepticism from military leaders and logistical challenges. However, it gained more prominence in subsequent conflicts. During the Indian Wars, the Gatling gun was employed to devastating effect against Native American tribes, who were unaccustomed to such overwhelming firepower. Over time, the Gatling gun underwent several modifications and improvements. Innovations included the introduction of electric and steam power to drive the mechanism, which further increased its rate of fire and reliability. The M1893 model, for instance, could be powered by an external motor, significantly enhancing its operational efficiency. The Gatling gun also influenced subsequent firearm development. Its rotary design inspired future generations of automatic weapons, including the Vulcan minigun, which uses a similar rotating barrel mechanism to achieve extraordinarily high rates of fire. Noel Caplock Revolver. The Noel Caplock Revolver, though not as well known as iconic firearms like the Colt Peacemaker, holds a fascinating place in the history of the American Wild West. During the mid-1800s, the caplock mechanism was a prevalent technology, replacing the older flintlock systems. Caplock firearms used percussion caps, small copper caps filled with a shock-sensitive explosive compound to ignite the gunpowder and fire the bullet. This method was more reliable than flintlocks, especially in damp conditions. What set the Noel Caplock Revolver apart was its unique approach to the revolving cylinder mechanism. Unlike many contemporaneous designs, which were often bulky and cumbersome, Noel's revolver aimed for a more compact and streamlined build. It featured a smaller, more manageable cylinder that held 6 shots, typical of the era, but with improved ergonomics that made it easier to handle and quicker to reload. One of the standout features of the Noel Caplock Revolver was its double-action mechanism. Most revolvers of the time were single-action, meaning the user had to manually cock the hammer before each shot. The double-action mechanism allowed the shooter to fire by simply pulling the trigger, which both cocked the hammer and rotated the cylinder. This innovation increased the rate of fire and made the revolver more user-friendly in high-pressure situations. While not as widely produced or distributed as some other revolvers, the Noel Caplock Revolver found a niche among certain groups in the Wild West. It was particularly favored by lawmen and some military personnel, who valued its reliability and ease of use. The revolver's robust construction made it less prone to malfunction in the harsh and often unpredictable conditions of the frontier. Lawmen appreciated the revolver's double-action capability, which allowed for quicker response times during confrontations with outlaws. The compact design also made it easier to carry, whether in a hip holster or concealed beneath a coat. This made the Noel Caplock Revolver a practical choice for those who needed a dependable sidearm for both protection and enforcement. Today, the Noel Caplock Revolver is a rare and highly sought-after collector's item, due to its limited production run and the unique features that distinguished it from more common firearms of the era. Surviving examples are prized by antique firearm collectors and historians. Cochran Turret Revolver. The Cochran Turret Revolver is one of the most intriguing and unconventional firearms to emerge from the 19th century, a period marked by rapid advancements in weapon technology. Invented by James P. Cochran and patented in 1856, this revolver is a fascinating departure from the traditional designs of its time. Unlike the standard cylinder-based revolvers, the Cochran Turret Revolver featured a unique horizontal turret mechanism, setting it apart both in form and function. The Cochran Turret Revolver's most distinctive feature is its horizontally rotating turret, which served as the cylinder. This turret, often with 6 to 10 chambers, was positioned parallel to the barrel and rotated horizontally on a central axis. Each chamber was loaded with a separate round, and as the user cocked the hammer, the turret would rotate to align the next chamber with the barrel. This design offered several theoretical advantages. Depending on the model, the Cochran Turret Revolver would hold more rounds than a typical 6-shot cylinder, enhancing its firepower. While innovative, the Cochran Turret Revolver had several practical challenges that hindered its widespread adoption. The turret mechanism was more complex than traditional revolvers, making it difficult to manufacture and maintain. This complexity could lead to reliability issues, especially under the harsh conditions of the frontier. Also, reloading the turret revolver was a more cumbersome process compared to cylinder revolvers. Each chamber had to be individually loaded, and the turret had to be carefully rotated and aligned. Despite reducing the risk of chain fires, the turret design posed its own safety challenges. For instance, the horizontal chambers could potentially expose multiple loaded rounds to the user's hand or body, increasing the risk of accidental discharge if mishandled. The Cochran turret revolver appeared during a time of intense experimentation with firearm designs. The mid-19th century saw numerous inventors and gunsmiths attempting to perfect the repeating firearm, driven by the needs of military conflicts such as the American Civil War and the expanding frontier. Despite its innovative design, the Cochran turret revolver did not achieve commercial success or widespread use. Its complexity and the advent of more practical and reliable revolvers overshadowed its potential advantages. However, it remains a fascinating example of the ingenuity and creativity of the period. Lancaster 4-barrel shotgun. The most striking feature of the Lancaster 4-barrel shotgun was its quad-barrel configuration. These barrels were typically arranged side by side, allowing the shooter to fire 4 shots in rapid succession without needing to reload. This setup provided significant firepower, which was particularly useful in close-quarters combat or when facing multiple adversaries. Each barrel could be loaded individually, giving the shooter flexibility in ammunition choice, whether it be buckshot for close range or slugs for greater impact at a distance. The shotgun was well suited for various roles on the frontier. Its ability to deliver multiple shots quickly made it a favorite among stagecoach guards, lawmen, and settlers defending their homesteads from raids by outlaws or Native American attacks. While not as widely recognized today as some iconic rifles or revolvers of the era, the Lancaster 4-barrel shotgun earned a reputation for its effectiveness and reliability. It found favor among those who valued its ability to deliver multiple shots quickly and its robust construction that could withstand the rigors of daily use in harsh conditions. The Henry Rifle. The Henry Rifle was a game-changer in the world of firearms during the mid-19th century. Designed by Benjamin Tyler Henry, it introduced several groundbreaking features that made it stand out from other guns of its time. What set the Henry Rifle apart was its lever-action mechanism. This allowed shooters to fire quickly without needing to reload after each shot. It was a big improvement over older rifles that were slower to use. The rifle had a tube under the barrel that held cartridges in a magazine. This magazine could hold up to 16 rounds, which was a lot for that time. This gave the Henry Rifle more firepower than single-shot rifles and even some other repeating rifles. During the American Civil War, Union soldiers used the Henry Rifle, especially in units like the 1st DC Cavalry and the 1st West Virginia Volunteer Cavalry. Its ability to fire rapidly helped Union troops in battles against Confederate forces. Outside of the military, the Henry Rifle became very popular among civilians, especially in the Wild West. Its reliability, fast shooting, and large magazine made it great for hunting and self-defense in the tough conditions of the frontier. Buffalo hunters, pioneers, and lawmen all liked using the Henry Rifle. The Henry Rifle was a major step forward in gun technology. It paved the way for other lever-action rifles, like the famous Winchester Model 1866. These guns became very popular and were used for many years. In American culture, the Henry Rifle earned a nickname, the gun that won the West. It symbolized the tough and independent spirit of the frontier. The rifle's role in history and its appearance in Western stories, movies, and TV shows made it a legendary part of American history. Leg peg gun. The leg peg gun was typically custom-made for individuals who needed a prosthetic leg due to amputation. Craftsmen would fashion the artificial limb from wood or metal, hollowing out a portion of it to accommodate the hidden firearm. The design varied, but generally the pistol was situated inside the hollowed-out cavity, with a mechanism allowing the shooter to fire the weapon discreetly. one of the most intriguing aspects of the leg peg gun was its concealment. From the outside, the prosthetic leg appeared no different from any other, providing a perfect disguise for the hidden firearm. This feature made it a favored tool among individuals who needed to be armed discreetly, such as lawmen operating undercover or gamblers wary of potential disputes. While specific documented cases of the leg peg gun in action are sparse, its existence speaks to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of individuals living in the rugged and often dangerous environments of the Wild West. Law enforcement officers, in particular, appreciated such covert weaponry, as it allowed them to maintain the element of surprise in confrontations with outlaws or during raids. The leg peg gun, while innovative for its time, had inherent limitations. Being a single-shot handgun, it required meticulous aim and precision in a life-or-death situation, leaving no room for error. Reloading the pistol under pressure was often cumbersome and time-consuming. As firearms technology advanced, more practical concealed carry options emerged that offered superior firepower and quicker reloading times. Revolvers and other compact firearms became preferred choices for personal defense, gradually relegating the leg peg gun to obscurity. Remington Model 95. The Remington Model 95 is a single-shot break-action derringer characterized by its simplicity and reliability. It was initially chambered in .41 rimfire caliber, which was common for small handguns of the era. The design was elegant and practical, featuring a spur trigger that protruded from the bottom of the frame, allowing for easy cocking and firing with a single hand. The Remington Derringer gained immediate popularity due to its compact size and ease of concealment. It was a favorite among gamblers, lawmen, and civilians seeking personal protection in the tumultuous post-Civil War era. Its discreet profile made it ideal for carrying in pockets or concealed holsters, providing a sense of security in the unpredictable and often lawless frontier towns. Over its production history, the Remington Model 95 underwent several variations and improvements. One notable variant was chambered in .38 rimfire caliber, offering a slightly smaller and more manageable size while maintaining adequate stopping power for its intended use. Later versions also featured slight modifications to the grip shape and trigger mechanism, enhancing user comfort and reliability. One of the most infamous incidents involving the Remington Derringer was its role in the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. John Wilkes Booth used a similar Derringer, a Philadelphia Derringer, to fatally shoot Lincoln at Ford's Theater in 1865. While not a Remington Model 95, this event underscored the effectiveness and lethality of small, concealable firearms like the Derringer during that period. Today, original Remington Model 95 Derringers are highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts of antique firearms. Due to their age and historical significance, well-preserved examples can fetch significant prices at auctions and among private collectors. The bank teller's rifle. Picture a remarkable firearm from the Old West that stands out from the rest. It's called the bank teller's mounted revolver, a clever invention used in Wild West banks for security. This unique pistol breaks away from the usual revolver design. It doesn't have a typical grip or frame. Instead, it's designed to be mounted on walls or counters, with a trigger that can be connected to a rope or wire. In the rough and tumble days of the Old West, banks were frequent targets for robbers. To protect against these threats, banks installed these special revolvers. They were strategically placed to cover the bank's entrance, ensuring any potential thief would face immediate resistance. Some banks even set up 2 of these revolvers to cover more ground effectively. The goal was simple, yet vital: to discourage thieves and safeguard the bank in a time when security was uncertain and danger was ever present. Here's how it worked. When someone suspicious entered the bank, the teller was ready to act. One method involved discreetly triggering the revolver using a hidden pedal under the desk. This allowed the teller to maintain a calm appearance while swiftly stopping criminals with a well-aimed shot. Alternatively, banks used ropes reinforced with bulletproof material to secure teller desks and counters. If a robbery started, the teller could hide under the desk and pull the ropes together. These ropes were cleverly connected to the revolver triggers, enabling the teller to fire from a safe spot and stop any threat. During the Old West era, bank robberies were common, as outlaws sought riches stored inside banks. To protect their valuables and ensure everyone's safety, bank tellers came up with innovative tactics like the mounted revolver. These firearms weren't just tools. They represented the resourcefulness and adaptability of the frontier, a time when necessity drove new inventions to protect against danger. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.